Salvation This Christmas, written by Bridie Banwell and read by Claudette Evans. Christmas Eve. Snow falling and bitterly cold. I rub my hands together fervently to try and warm them up. For the past quarter of a century, I have volunteered to work this shift, meaning someone else gets to spend time with their family. I have no family. My goal in life has been to work hard and eventually attain my rank of Major in the Salvation Army. My thoughts drift back to childhood, my mum, a warm, loving lady whose heart was filled with compassion, though she received precious little herself. My dad was a bully. He spent most of his earnings on his first love, alcohol. Mum dreaded the weekends when he returned blind drunk from the pub and used her like a punch bag. There was never a hint of a black eye or bruise. He wasn't stupid. And the injuries were always to her body. The scars were well hidden. One night, I pushed between Mum and Dad to try and save her from the blows. He beat the hell out of me and roared in my face, "Don't you ever try that again, Frank, or I will effing kill you." It was worth the bruises, just to have saved Mum, just this once. She tried to comfort me, but he grabbed her arm and dragged her upstairs. The Christmas I turned 13 was the worst of my whole life. Our neighbours, Tina and Bob, had been burgled just days before, and my mum had invited them to join us for dinner Christmas Day. Tina popped in the day before to ask what time they should come round. As Mum answered the knock at the door, Dad walked into the hall. "What do you want, Tina?" He spoke in his usual surly voice. "I just wanted to ask Ellen what time she wanted me and Bob to come for dinner tomorrow." He grabbed Mum viciously by the arm. "Who do you think you are asking people to come here for a free meal? You don't earn a penny. Everything from the roof over your head and the clothes on your back are down to me, you bloody ungrateful bitch, and don't you ever forget that." Tina lunged towards him to get him away from Mum, but he landed her a vicious punch in the face. Blood spurted from her eye. She fled the house shouting, "Don't worry, Ellen. I'll get Jack to sort him out, the drunken bullying bastard." Dad put his hands around her neck and squeezed so tight her eyes looked about to pop out. All of us 4 children attacked him, trying in vain to get him to loosen the grip on Mum's neck. He swatted us away one by one as if we were just annoying flies. We screamed for him to let Mum go, but his blinding rage was all-consuming. Our screams turned from fear to anger and then to despair as we were powerless to help Mum. The blood drained from her face, leaving it grey mask-like. The light in her eyes grew dim. Her eyelids fluttered briefly, like the broken wings of a butterfly, then became still. She took one last gasp for breath and slumped to the floor as the hands round her throat loosened their grip, much, much too late. Tina and Bob rushed through the door, their faces ashen at the sight of Ellen's lifeless corpse already growing cold. Bob phoned the police. Dad was arrested and eventually charged and sentenced to life imprisonment. My mind returns to the present. Earlier in the evening, our chapel had been packed with people celebrating the Christmas service, followed by carol singing. Now it was time for those of us who were on duty to fill the soup, tea and coffee tureens and load them on the van. Our mission was to find the homeless, vagrants, addicts and the alcohols, or just those purely unlucky souls who found themselves without shelter for the night. We could at least offer a cup of soup or hot drink to momentarily ward off the cold. I parked the van near the viaduct, which is where most of the homeless gather underneath the arches to ward off the weather. I set up a trestle table, placing the soup tureens and the tea and coffee urns side by side. The plastic cups and bread rolls are set on a tray decorated with a sprig of holly. After all, it is Christmas Eve. One of the soup tureens has a red sticker placed just out of sight. I fill the plastic cups and hand them out to the flotsam and jetsam of humanity surrounding me, looking forlorn, lost, or just plain out of it, drunk or under the influence of drugs. I wish them all Merry Christmas. Tomorrow there will be some dead bodies lying underneath the viaduct or within close proximity to it. There will be the odd few corpses here and there along the route I take tonight. Who will bother to investigate the deaths of these vagrants? The deaths will be put down to their lifestyle finally catching up with them. I feel no guilt for playing my part in their endings. Many alcoholics and drug addicts ruin lives. I just offer them salvation, albeit of my own choosing. A few less of them on the streets is no bad thing. Just one cup of my special soup is all that's required. Death comes swiftly and without pain. You could say it was the humane thing to do, putting an end to the misery of their wasted lives.